Hey, I'm Justin Bondi, and I am joining today to give you a quick overview of our Neat Pulse cloud management platform that you can use to administer and manage and deploy all of the Neat devices in your environment. Now, Neat Pulse, as you know, is a suite of both services and products that allow you all the things you need for the care and feeding of your Neat devices, whether you have just a few of them or if you have hundreds or even thousands of them. But today I want to focus on the cloud management tool piece of Pulse specifically. So let's go in and take a look at our device dashboard here. So this is sort of the home screen for all of your devices. And you'll see we spent time on the design of this to make the design very unique, but also very visually intuitive. So what I mean by that is, as you go through and look at all your devices in your roster list here, you'll see that here we have like a Neat bar and a Neat pad, and they're in one contiguous white bubble. That just visually tells you that that bar and that Neat pad are paired in the room, and they're up and operating and talking to each other properly. If they weren't paired, you'd actually see them in two separate bubbles. And so that type of visual design is something we take very, very seriously at Neat, both from an aesthetic standpoint, but also to make it easier for you to just intuit what's going on without having to dig into a lot of tables and numbers, et cetera. But as you can see, we've got a lot of different devices here. But what if I want to drill down a little bit and find specific devices or specific groups of devices? I can certainly use this search field here at the top if I know the name of the room that I want to get into. But I also here have a way to filter using locations and regions. So we give you the ability to put devices in different regions and locations under those regions, so you can easily drill down and get to groups of devices wherever they are. So if I go in and click on USA here, so now I'm looking at all the devices I have in the Americas. But I'm personally in Chicago, so I'm just going to click on the Chicago location, and now I'm just seeing the devices that are there, right? So I'm going to go down and say, here's my Neat frame. So I'm going to click on that and bring that up. And now I'm in sort of the room screen, right? So I'm looking at the device, all of the devices in the room. In this case, it's just my Neat frame device. I've put a little JPEG here so that I can visually, just remind myself of that room. You can take a picture of the room so your administrators know they're in the right spot when they're looking here. And then I see some detail about what that device is doing. I see it's in use. I see that it has an occupancy of 1. Basically, that's me. So our people counting data is available here. And also our NeatSense climate data or environmental data. So I see, it's 74 degrees in here, humidity, VOC, air quality, those types of things. So there's so I get a really nice kind of overview of what's happening in the room. Now, if I go into the device itself, now I see the device, I see its IP address, I see that it needs an update. So I need to update the firmware on this. And then I can go through and look at all of the various firmware settings under this device as well. Now, I can also, let's say I'm on a troubleshooting call with a user, and they actually and they aren't sure what's going on in the room, and I need to take a look to see what's going on, but I might be miles or a continent away even. I can actually click on remote control. And when I do that, basically what you're going to see is that I get a real-time representation of what's going on that device. And I can go in and I can actually control it from here. So I can go click on myself here, I can go into the settings, et cetera, and basically in real time, just like I was in front of the device, I can see what's going on and I can control it. So this is a really, really great help desk type functionality. Now, if we go back into our dashboard here, as I mentioned, we can break everything up into regions and locations. Now, if I go to profiles, what we do here is we actually allow you to create a settings profile that you can then apply to multiple devices by region or location or in various ways. So in this way, you're able to create create essentially a pattern of how you want different devices or devices in different locations configured, and then push those out to those devices very quickly, so you don't have to configure them individually. Also, we have our users, which gives you some granularity in terms of how you set up admin profiles, admin accounts. You can make people an owner, which means they have access to everything, but you can also make them an admin and only give them access to devices that are in their region or their location. So that gives you some multi-tenancy in terms of how you can control roles for the people who are going to be using the management tool to administer to your devices. So that's pretty powerful as well. Under the settings, that's where you can set up your different locations and regions. And we also give you a very detailed audit log, which will go through and keep track of all of the different changes, configuration changes and events that your various admins and owners have created. So you can go back and just see what has changed when. So, this is, again, coming out in the next several weeks here at Neat. We've already got a lot. I hope you can see we've got a lot of functionality already built into it, but it's just going to keep maturing over time. And the new features are going to be rolling out very, very regularly as we develop the platform. So I hope that was informative to you. Please continue to enjoy the webinar, and thanks a lot for joining us today.